All right, here we go. Back in Elite. All right, here we are. And let's see, power play cycle imminent, blah, blah, blah. All right, titanium. So we are full up. Let me get the FDev stream pulled up over on the side monitor where I can see it. All right, they are starting soon. The other thing I need to do is pop this out so I can see it. I think we can dispense with the auto launch since I'm not playing on the Steam Deck. Oh, that's not good. Okay, we need the auto dock back on. I was afraid this was going to happen. Now that we're free of the station.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
That's bizarre. We have a problem. This joystick's not configured properly. I thought I had solved this. Okay, guys, we're going to be messing with this for a minute. Okay, let's try running our configuration again. All right, I need to shut Elite down real quick. All right, FDev talking about random stuff. I think these things might need a. Sorry, guys, we're having technical problems here. Thought we had done this already. Talon, what's up? All right, let's try this again. Yes, go ahead then. I've had to reinstall Windows on this drive, and the joysticks are not responding. Gank hunting, nice. I've got FDev stream up on the side, waiting to see what they do with squadrons, and if they give us some more info on the Panther Clipper. Because they did say they were going to talk about that rework today. All right. There's that installed. Controller's connected. Properties. All right, and left flight stick. All right, so our firmware is good. Mini sticks are good on the left. Throttle's good. Mini sticks good. All right, buttons are all working. All right. Configuration is in. All right, so the sticks are working. Any other issues that we encounter are purely elite, which I can manage. This is what happens when an SSD gives up the ghost out of nowhere. It started, but they're talking about Planet Coaster. They've got Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, and then Elite, so I'm keeping an eye on it, but I don't have the audio on because I don't care about either one of the Planet games.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, looks like we might be back online.
4, 3,
2, 1.
engage.
I'm sure I'm going to find a button or two here that doesn't work, but basic controls are back. Which means that we can kill this.
Access to this carrier must be authorized in advance. Access denied. Docking requests denied. Our carrier uses 7.5-kilometer range for docking requests. Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated pad.
I hate this ship sometimes.
Hull integrity compromised.
All right.
Landing complete. Clear to disembark. Our services are available for use, Commander. Release confirmed. Restrict speed until clear of our carrier.
Landing gear retracted.
All right, there we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now we only have to load up, what, I think 3,000 titanium?
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Gutemaya Delta, India Golf. Comms link established. Please approach the station at a safe speed and give way to larger vessels, Commander. Access granted. Adjust heading for approach to pad 02.
Didn't want to risk that with no shields.
Landing gear deployed. Hull integrity compromised.
Landing complete. Clear to disembark.
Where are we good now? Thanks. Let me turn my brightness up a little bit. On my game PC, I'm parked above the bridge of a sleek carrying the two because Gus listening for combat logging and then blocking so you can't instance him. Wow, sounds like a real stand-up guy.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity. Landing gear retracted.
Detach confirmed. Departure authorized.
All right, get your big fat ass out of the way. Thank you. Trying to cause problems in the system my squad holds. All the more reason to murderize his ass.
Frameshift drive charging.
Speed restrictions are now lifted. Flight control signing off.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
You know what? It's nice to be back in the lead after all that time I've spent playing Clair Obscure, although we're not quite done with that game yet. Easy game of the year contender right there. That game is insanely good.
Welcome, Commander. Please request docking permission before approaching a landing pad. Access granted. Please follow standard docking procedure, Commander.
Alright. Where's my pad? Alright, looks like they may be wrapping up talking about Planet Coaster. Elite is generally what they close out with.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright, let's get...
Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage.
Alright.
Landing complete. Hangar crew is ready. Our services are available for use, Commander.
1,500. Let's check and see what our exact amount is. That's going to be in the Galaxy map. I don't need the tutorial there, thank you. 3,532. Okay. So, really, really easily doable.
Ship released. Please watch for traffic during departure.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
Especially this close to a station.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Streams are usually about an hour long, so I imagine we have another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, we're about 24 minutes in, and they have just switched to Planet Coaster from Planet Zoo, or from... It looks like they're switching to Planet Zoo, sorry.
Conflict established. Please approach the station at a safe
Talking about their new update for Planet Coaster. Like the release date.
Adjust heading for approach to pad 2 and 4.
It really depends on how much they have to talk about with Planet Zoo, I think, because... I mean, I don't know. What do you do for DLCs in that game? Do you just add more animals? Like, what are they... What are they continuing to develop on Planet Zoo? I honestly couldn't tell you.
maximum capacity.
All right. And back we go.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship released. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
Nice.
Hull integrity compromised.
Warning. Observe minimum clearance distance.
Okay, everything in the fucking world decided to go through the mailbox at once there.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
We welcome your business as a carrier, Commander. Please enjoy your stay with us. Access granted. Please proceed to your landing pad, Commander.
Really wish I had my own super special landing pad as owner of the carrier.
Landing gear deployed.
All right, here comes Planet Zoo on the stream.
Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage.
Contact confirmed.
It seems a little laggy. I'm gonna run a speed test real quick. Okay, never mind. Must be a figment of my imagination. Or maybe it's a little bit of a blip from the servers, because it's definitely not on my end. What was it that we needed? It's going to take a little bit over a run. That was 2352 right there. Yeah, it's going to take 2 more runs.
Release confirmed. Restrict speed until clear of our carrier.
Landing gear retracted.
There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
You have less than no
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
All right, so we've got one more full capacity load and then 380 something for our last run.
Go to Maya Delta, India Golf. This is the Flight Operations Department. Please comply with established docking procedures, Commander. Access granted. Set down on landing pad 2-4.
There are you bastards. All right, let me get landed. They're not talking about the Clipper today.
Hull integrity compromised. Landing gear deployed. Taking damage.
Let me get that audio real quick, guys.
With the idea of renaming both the feature to Vanguards and having the update being called Vanguards, but after some further thought, we decided that actually we're going to stick with Squadrons as the name because it's what everyone's used to. It describes what they are a little bit more. It feels a little bit more about camaraderie and about being together in community rather than
Makes a lot of
rather than
sense, yeah.
Vanguards. Yeah, but Vanguards will still be the update name.
Gotcha.
All right, so I hope that's cleared it up. It's been a bit, we've been backwards and forwards a bit today, but I think that makes it quite succinct. So I guess when we take a look at this new update or revamp of Squadrons, and I'd say it's a revamp, it's almost like built from the ground up, So should we start from the beginning and should we create a squadron or take us through? So what we're going to show, I think, as we go through this is these are some work in progress and some mock-ups, some of the screens that players are going to see. So please bear that in mind. This will be subject to change, as it always is. So please don't murder us if we get some of this is different. But have a look, see, and we'll talk about some of the numbers in a moment. Again, please remember, chat, everything you're seeing is WIP. It's work in progress, not necessarily final.
Yep.
Right. So talk us through this process.
Yep. So first of all, the way you get to the screen is the right-hand side of your cockpit panel. So for anyone that's interacted with Squadrons before, it's where it always was. But when you come to that screen, if you're not part of a squadron, this is what you'll be greeted with. And as you can see there highlighted, one of the options is to create your own squadron, providing you have the funds.
So we're saying, what did you call it earlier on? You said, how much was the price of it?
It's 2 vultures worth.
Or in layman's terms, 10 million credits.
Yes.
But that, again, this is all work in progress,
Yes.
so these numbers might change. But 10 mil seems to be where we're starting for Squadrons.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. So you were mentioning earlier as well about the identifier for this and how we're kind of building on that as the sort of the look and feel. Are we going to be able to add some new logos and icons as part of this as well?
Yes, yeah. So I think we'll be showing that off a bit later. But we've really looked at like sort of trying to tie everything into the identity. So one of the first things you'll be greeted with after you decide to create a squadron is filling out all of the details for the squadron. So the name, the ID. We've got something there called the motto, which you can sort of think of as like your battle cry or your sort of like mantra as a squadron. And then there's some other details around like what activities do you do.
You can have more than one, right?
Yeah. If you're a squadron that just does everything, you just tick every box.
Yeah.
But equally, if you're a squadron that only does mining, you just tick the mining box, and that's all anyone will see when they look you up. Mining.
Oh,
Search
look at
for
those
these activities
perks.
as well, right? So
Yes,
it's really important
exactly.
to set
Yeah,
these up
yeah.
correctly.
So really thinking about like what is our squadron, what do we do, what do we like to play, who are we, and then you can set this up, and then you also have the option of as you do currently. Aligning yourself with a power and a minor faction, and there's some extra bits to do with that as well.
We'll talk a bit more about those later. I'm actually enjoying chat, pulling apart all of the footage that's on the screen. I knew this would happen, chat.
Yep.
Please remember, some of this might change, but you're getting a flavour for where we're about. But Sam, you had a question about the icons and logos, I think you said over there, right? You were saying that wrong.
Yeah, it looks like we can create our own icons and the logos now to kind of go alongside this. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so one of the things, again, with this whole idea of like identity and like who you are as a squadron, we now have a logo creator. So we are supplying the players with a bunch of different icons that they can use, and you can add up to 3 layers to create your logo. You don't have to use all 3 layers if you don't want to. If you just want something nice and simple, you can. But you can use any combination of these icons to create the logo, which means you can create some really nice stuff like we're showing off there. Again, these are all subject to change, but something like this, and you can change the colors. Or if you want, you can create an absolute hideous monstrosity.
Don't look at me when you say that. Like, don't. Yes, I'm not the most creative, but I will try my best.
I think you're reading too much into that.
But just to reiterate, this isn't the final set of logos at all. So, and these are subject to change. So there may be even more logos, and you can see there's a scroll bar there. So that is not all of the logos you have, and you can obviously layer them. And colour them, right?
And colour every layer, yeah. So if you wanted to do one layer green, white, orange, you can do that. You can have them all orange if you really like the colour of our UI. Or you can do any combination that you can think of.
Nice, very nice.
Very nice, awesome. And so where can we see these appearing? Like how are these actually going to get used once you've made something?
So the first place you'll see it after creating a squadron is on your homepage, which I think we'll have a look at in a little bit. But it's also going to be something that players looking to join a squadron will see when they go browsing for squadrons, or when they search you up. As you can see here, they'll see your icon as one of the first things. But also, we are looking to provide you with a decal that has your icon on it that you can.
Very nice. Do you hear that, chat? Your squadron will get its own decal.
Yep. And then you can apply that to your ship, and it'll be a nice way to identify and to sort of like really represent your squadron when you're out in the black.
Bit of fame or bit of infamy, whichever one you're going to be doing, really. I guess, chat. I know which it's going to be, but still, I've got to give you the option, right? So that's really cool. Actually, I think allowing players that creativity to make their own logos and then see it out in the black is actually really, really exciting. And again, it goes back to cementing that squadron's identity within the galaxy. So that's really cool that you've done that. Yeah. But we're talking about our squadron that we're talking through this journey here, Curtis. So our squadron's now live. How would other commanders go about finding it?
So that screen we saw earlier where you had a bunch of that one there. So when you were on that big screen before where we chose to create a squadron, there was instead a button there that you could have used to go and search for a squadron. So if you're looking for a home rather than to create one of your own, you can go here and it pre-filters just basically a bunch of random squadrons. But as you can see at the top there's a load of different options for like narrowing that down. So if you're like someone that only likes to do trading, you can say, I only like to do trading and I really want to do it while supporting a power like Edmund or something. So you can search for both of those things, and it will only show you powers that have both trading as one of their activities and say that they are supporting Edmund, for example.
Nice. And then when you can click on these, you have a little bit more information, right?
Yes. You click on this and you basically get a bunch more information about the squadron. So you get to see how many players there are. It shows you their full suite of like tags and activities, what time zone they're in roughly, how often they play, a bunch of other information like that, and we have a nice little activity feed that shows you like what they've been up to recently. So like Commander Bob.
So this is equivalent of the Squadron's Tinder profile, right? So this is where you get to look at
Yeah.
what they're into. Do
Their
you match
Tinder
with these
profile.
people?
Oh
You
my
go swipe
God.
right in this Squadron. I also like the fact you've got the commander portraits up there as well. That's a really nice touch.
That's a nice detail.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it also highlights if any of your friends are in the squadron as well. So if you've got any friends there, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay. So that's cool. So that's a really easy way to find a squadron, find one that appeals to you, filter it down, and take a bit more of a detailed look at what they've been up to. It's really cool. It shows activities as well that they've been doing, so you can get a real feel of like, yeah, this is the squadron for me.
Yeah, and they've got timestamps on them as well, so you get a good idea of how active the squadron is as well, which is something we're quite keen on people being
Yes.
like, active while they're playing.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's jump back to our squadron now. the one we
Yeah,
were
I'm
creating
hoping so
earlier.
too, Talon.
And we can take a look at the squadron homepage. Can you tell us a bit about how we access this and how we find it and what it's all about?
Yeah, so basically the same flow as we did to create it. You go to the right-hand side of your cockpit, and instead of being greeted with those three options that you had before, you'll now be greeted with this. And this is basically the hub for anything that you want to do in the squadron. So if you want to do any management work, if you're like one of the leadership, or if you want to just find someone that's in the squadron,
Squadron bank.
because you've decided that you're going to
Interesting.
meet up and you're going to do some wing work or something. You can find them in the roster, for example. Or you can you know look at the faction information, which we provide if your squadron is aligned to a faction and all that sort of stuff.
Awesome, awesome. And we can see the bulletin board there as well. Yeah, so what does that
Yeah,
involve?
so that's something which is similar to something that we have in Squadrons 1 that you can find on the comms panel, but we've moved it in here so it gets a bit more prominence and it's a bit clearer to read. And basically, it's basically a notice board, so it's anything that you would use a notice board for. So, Friday night we're going out killing some Thargoids, or
Poor Thargoids.
oh yeah, it's always the Thargoids.
Yeah.
Or like, congratulations to Commander Bob for finishing his 100th colonization attempt. You know that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess you could also use it, and the great thing about a bulletin board is it's impervious to time zones, right? So you'll be able to, if you have players that cross time zones, so they'll log in and see what the actual squadron's up to, and if perhaps you're trying to, I don't know, for argument's sake, push a minor faction somewhere in a particular system, you might want to leave a comment that says, hey, if you want to do it in this system so we can move that faction over. Maybe, perhaps, perchance, it's almost like these systems are linked together. Who knows?
Yeah, that is possibly a use case for it if you wanted to do that. And also, as you say, if people are offline and they want to leave like instructions for the squadron, like this is our current goal, they can make a bulletin for it, and they can even pin it as well, so it doesn't get lost as well.
Yeah, so you can pin your squadron, I guess your squadron's priority activity right at the top there. So that's really,
Exactly.
really cool.
Nice.
All right, so obviously, assuming that the squadron that Sam and I create is going to be super popular, and now obviously we've got all of these people in our squadron. How do we manage them? What roles can we give them and stuff like that?
Yeah, so where you do a lot of the managing of the individuals, you'll find in the roster page, and depending on what permissions your rank has, which we'll go over in a moment, you can do certain things when selecting a player here. So the stuff that you can always do, like inviting to a team or to crew, adding a friend, or if they've come across you or me, they might block us. But also if you've got certain permissions on your rank, you can also promote them, demote them. Like you can manage the sort of like the people in the squadron as well.
Cool. And of course, what do these missions allow you to do when you're in there? So I take it that also means you can, if needs be, you can remove someone from a squadron?
Yes, you can kick them if needs be, if you've got the right permission, but you can also do a lot of like managing of the squadron, so it's not all left to the leader. So like, for example, if you wanted to change the logo because you're going off to do something specific and you wanted to theme yourself for it, you can give out permissions to be able to change logos. You can also have permissions for people to be able to handle like applications. In fact, you could even create a rank specifically for handling applications, because as with current squadrons, all squadrons will start with 5 ranks that they can change the permissions of and customize them however they want. But we're also now allowing you to add up to 10 more for a total of 15.
So could you assign by like activity as well? So if you were if your squadron was into sort of multiple activities, so mining and maybe combat, you can have people assigned to different areas?
Yeah, you definitely could. You can give them permissions that are appropriate for like whatever like activities and stuff that they're getting up to in the squadron, or you could just use them to like delineate people. If you're a really big squadron that works on colonization, you've got people that do a lot of like buying of stuff and moving it, you could give them like a special rank that like just lets people know when they're looking at the roster, oh, this person does this sort of stuff for the squadron.
Gotcha. So it's just a clarity of purpose, really, what this is for. That's great.
As a
Really, really
squadron
cool.
leader with a squadron that doesn't do fuck all, 90% of this doesn't apply to me
It's
either.
quite an important part of the rework that you guys are doing for squadrons. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so we've got the leaderboards that we have in the current one, but when we were looking at them, one of the things that we found was that if you're a small, like, tight-knit squadron of like 10 to 20 people, you're going to really struggle to be competitive in the leaderboard if you're going up against like a big behemoth of a squadron that's got like 500 or so players. So what we've done is we've kept the idea of the everyone against everyone leaderboard, which is the primary one that we'll show you when you come to the UI. But we've also introduced 2 brackets where we only take the top 50 or the top 10 players from the squadron, and we only count their scores. So if you've got a squadron that's really good at bounty hunting, and they've got like 500 players and they're like top of the overall leaderboard, but then you've got another squadron that's only got 10 people, and
they are the best
they
at
are,
bounty hunting.
They are the 10 best people at bounty hunting. They will actually win the top 10 bracket, even though they won't be able to win the all bracket, but they will win the top 10, and then each bracket gets the same rewards. So
it's a great way of
really
making
nice.
it fair for all, right? So no matter
Exactly,
how the size of
Giving
the
everyone
squadron,
access, yeah.
yeah, you've got a chance to be in there to get rewarded for your efforts. That's cool.
exactly.
Very nice, awesome. Cool, I believe there's a bunch of perks as well that come with this. Do you want to kind of dig into that a bit?
Yes.
They were noted almost immediately at the start. I was like, this is perks
Right,
there.
here we go.
I'm
Perks.
not surprised at all. But yes, so firstly, there's 2 types of perk that the squadron can have active at once. There's the primary perk, which is active all the time for everyone, no matter where they are, as long as the perk would be valid there, obviously. And then there's the second one where if the squadron has aligned themselves with a minor faction, then anywhere where that minor faction is in control of a system, that perk will be active.
Nice. So, just rolling this back and just thinking this through, to various different systems, just say we go out and we colonize a star system and bring our minor faction in there, and then we start expanding that system out over time. That both of our perks for that squadron will work in all of our systems, right? And then we can just keep growing them and growing them and growing them until maybe we bump into another squadron or another faction, and we have to, I'm sure, make political negotiations.
Yeah, talk it out.
Yeah, there'll be absolutely no pew-pewing at all.
No,
but it'll
no,
just
no
be
lasers.
No lasers. But it's really cool, actually, that the perks. Can you give us an example of what some of the perks might be?
Yeah, so we've got some sort of simple ones like XP increase for when you're ranking up. So if your squadron really wants to get like everyone to like triple elite, you could activate one like that. To some slightly more like bespoke and specific ones, like reducing the synthesis cost of certain things like premium ammo and limpets and stuff like that. Also to some slightly more abstract ones like insurance for your cargo. So if your ship blows up, we will basically refund you the cost of some of the cargo that you brought, so that it wasn't a complete like waste getting blown up.
So, and again, these are all subject to change, and we're working through some of these. Obviously, when we're looking at perks, I guess the difficulty for all of us is to make sure we don't do anything that's too egregious.
Yes.
And again, like anything, when we put this stuff into the game, we will be keeping a very close eye on what you do, which is probably not what we expect, but you'll do it anyways. And then we might do some tweaking afterwards just to make sure there isn't a perk that's way too overpowered, etc., etc., etc. So just caveat that right now, chat. They're not final, and we will be looking at them after they go in, just to make sure we're not doing something too silly. The other thing I want to talk about that players may or may not notice on that home screen was there was something there that said bank, le banque. What is this all about?
Yeah, so as soon as you create a squadron, you get access to a bank, and initially it is just a bank storing credits. You have these things that we have the concept of, which are called permission groups. If it helps, you can think of them as accounts. And what these allow you to do is these allow you to have stores of, in this case, credits, where multiple ranks can access the same permission group, but with different limits. So, for example, you might go, oh, okay, we want a fund for everyone's repair bill. So everyone, they can just take money out of the bank every week up to a limit to repair their ship and stuff. And for like the normal members, you might only give them like 500,000 credits, just a little bit, because you've probably got a lot of those
Yeah.
members at that rank. But then maybe the officers get like 50 million or something like that.
Yeah.
And that all comes out of the same bucket, but at different rates. And anyone with permissions can set up those permission groups and set the quotas that they can have.
Yeah.
Interesting
so
idea.
we're just picking subjects. Obviously, squadrons define what they want those buckets to be. So that's really, really cool. And you mentioned limits. Are there limits to what can be stored?
Yeah, so as I said, at first, you get access
I want to
to
know what
credits,
those others are,
and
ships,
they're stored in the
commodities, and
bank,
personal assets.
And you need
Something else.
yeah, you need something to spend the credits on.
Why would you be saving credits though? What possibly could you want to be as a squadron? What would a squadron want?
Something big and movable.
Something big and movable, like almost like a squadron carrier.
Almost like a squadron carrier.
There we
yes.
go.
Here we go.
There it is. And these are really cool, actually. So shout out to Simon and the team for putting this together. So you can actually put together a squadron carrier. Now, yes, it operates similar to a fleet carrier, but there are some significant differences here. So do you want to talk us through what's so special about this?
Yeah.
How much does
so,
that
First of
cost?
all, obviously, as you can see, it's a bit bigger than a normal fleet carrier. So you can fit a lot of the squadron on there all at once. I can't wait for the videos of someone on the deck and everyone's lifting off at the same time.
Oh, that's going to be epic. Absolutely epic.
I want to see them. But also, with a normal fleet carrier, obviously, it's yours and you're the one managing it and you're the one deciding, where it jumps to and everything. But as a squadron, it's the squadron's carrier. So anyone with permissions can do that. So the leader doesn't always have to be there to manage where does it go.
So you can have a captain and a first officer and a...
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. You can live out your Star Trek dreams.
Yes, you've seen me straight away. Okay, fine.
But also one of the other benefits of getting the fleet carrier is obviously, as we can see, this one's quite a lot bigger than a normal one. And part of that is so that it's got some more storage space for a physical bank. So
Right.
This one will be commodities, personal items, so that's like the goods and the assets that you get on foot and stuff. But also you can store ships in the bank for your squadron.
That's very useful.
Yes. So you could imagine that perhaps maybe you're a mostly trading squadron, but some of your members want to try some combat out. So maybe some generous members of the squadron will put together some ships, put them in the bank, and then someone else from the squadron can take them out and can give them a test run, before, sort of dedicating themselves to going through the process of setting one up themselves. There are some limits on what you can put on the ships. They will be explained to you when you try and put it on. The big one is there's no engineered modules, but you can outfit it in any way you want. So if you want to give them an A-rated Fer-de-Lance, put that in the bank and someone else can take it out.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and obviously cosmetics as well. We won't be able to. There's that link to player accounts stuff. But I think players will understand that part of it.
Yeah.
But I think the real cool thing about looking at, and there's a lot of the meta for this is going to blow my mind, because what Squadron will be able to do with this carrier is move it along. Now you can do it. It's just a Squadron carrier, but you can also use it to. We can have a squadron filled with mining craft, and you want to go to a certain area, and we use mining to influence the BGS, or you go to influence the whatever power play you want to be doing. These are real tactical units to be used by squadrons, and I can't wait to see how players will go through and start utilising this incredible new feature and all the facilities that come with it. So I think we have an idea, but as always with our players, you'll do something totally different, and we'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, we should have anticipated this, but we haven't. Before I ask you what you think players were going to do with this feature, is there anything you think we might have missed off, Ellis? So we're only still really scratching the surface. There's so much more to go into on this, but it's a really cool feature that's coming in and still scheduled for summer. So we're still looking forward to getting this out for you. How do you think players are going to interact with it? What do you think you're going to see?
I think we're going to see a lot of things. I think we're going to see, the more obvious ones. Your groups that are around, doing certain activities like Fargoid hunting, trading, all that sort of stuff. I'm very looking forward to squadrons going out there and doing a lot of colonization and using the squadron bank for that and stuff like that. We're also hoping that with the sort of the new UI and the refresh and everything, that we'll see an influx of new players wanting to join squadrons, as we've made it hopefully a lot easier for them to join, and a lot more enticing as well, because there's a lot more practical benefit to joining a squadron now as well. So, new players helping them out, and just squadrons going around having fun and showing.
Absolutely not
showing
fighting each
pride
other,
of.
but yes,
Absolutely
having
not
fun.
fighting each other. No, definitely not that.
Yeah. Look, I think it's going to be great. I think it's a fantastic way. I think it's a fantastic mechanic for the game, as is. I think for all of our players that we have, I think it's going to be a wonderful tool for them to embrace. I've seen chat go off about it already. I think there's already significant communities in Elite, which we all know about anyway. So I think providing a tool that works as we intended. We had a go at Squadrons the first time around. It didn't quite land how we wanted it to work. Very much like Power Play, we've come back and gone, look, actually, we there's merit in the idea, but actually we're going to deliver it in a way that's going to work for our players. So I'm really keen to see what you do, but also the part you touched on there. For new players, I know Elite's vast and it can be quite daunting, but I think allowing players to jump into a game and immediately find a like-minded source,
Yeah.
Exactly, and then have experts help them, and maybe if they've got a carrier, they can give them a ship to go out and try something, and it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really cool to come along and have a look at this. So, Curtis, we will probably drag you by your heels back to the sofa again for some more information on this. But thank you so much for coming in again and staying late for us. It's really, really appreciate it. Can I have some 07s in the chat, please, for Curtis?
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome
Is that
sources. Right, before we end and wrap up the show, we do have a winner. We should give away the winner. Do you want to? I'm not going to try and read this name out. You're welcome, by the way.
I know. I'm just going to spell this out. So yes, congratulations to Jhin81. That is JHYN81.
There we go.
Maybe two N's.
It was two
cannot
N's.
see
It's
from
either
this
two N's or it's
distance.
an M.
Yes.
I have no idea.
One
I'm
or
too
the
old.
other. But yes, congratulations.
Check
yes.
for a whisper or whatever it is you get on Twitch. I think it's a whisper. I don't know,
we
whisper,
go.
maybe a DM,
Yes.
but just make sure you get the official whisper from us, and that will be your way to confirm and give us our
Congrats.
details. And producer Adam is doing something really strange with the notes on stream. Thank you very much, Adam. That's great. So we're back. Well, you're back. Next, it'll be Wednesday, 20th of June. It's been a wonderful show. We have loads to go through. We talked about Planet Coaster 2, what's coming, update 6, and all the good stuff there. The what was it? Gift shop, souvenir shop.
Souvenir shops and two themes.
All right, so that was that. I gotta admit, I'm extremely disappointed they didn't talk about the Panther Clipper, especially after they promised they would. That's probably why most people were tuned in, if we're being honest. Pretty not happy about that. But the new Squadron stuff is certainly looking interesting.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
So let's just look at the old Squadrons UI just while we're here. So, I mean, there's not much to it. So, we could see, obviously, my home system for our Squadron and where else we're present, but managing the Squadron, see our people and stuff, but that's about it. So, hopefully they can make this land and be a whole lot better. I would love to have an actual active Squadron. I would have loved to have known how much that Squadron carrier costs. I'm going to bet it's double the regular. I really wanted to get more info about the Panther.
Landing gear
Ship
retracted.
released. You are cleared to leave.
I suppose it is the way it is there. I just hope that they chose not to show it because they really wanted to get out the info about the Squadrons and not because the thing's being delayed. C'est la vie. They'll get it out when they get it out.
Frameshift drive
What
charging.
I've learned with FDev.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
The idea of perks and being able to bank ships for squadron members to use is actually pretty intriguing to me.
We see you on the census, Commander. Standard flight regulations are in place around this carrier. Permission granted. Please approach your designated landing pad in good time.
I have a feeling that they're probably just going to add this new system again and let the squadrons be imported into it.
Landing gear deployed.
I think probably somebody was like, hey, they'll crucify us if
Integrity
we
compromised.
wipe the squadrons.
Landing complete. Clamps engaged. Our services are available for use, Commander.
So let's get this stuff back on. Alright. $31.36. Oh, Frostwolf here, bud. Don't forget to check what you buy and deliver for donation. Missions to Fed. I'm not working on. I don't have any skin in the game for factions right now, superpowers right now. All I care about is finishing out my station. 396 is what we have left. Yeah, not if I still needed Fed rank or Imp rank, that would probably be a good place to go.
Landing gear
Release
retracted.
confirmed. Departure
I don't.
authorized.
So, alright, so we're headed back for one last fill up.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Hey, probably should have gone ahead and set the carrier for a jump. We can do that in a minute. See if I can get a better parking spot this time. Alright, let's get 25%.
Crew to Maya, Delta, India, Golf. Please comply with flight regulations as you approach the station, Commander. Request approved. Cleared for landing on docking bay 02.
Oh, is it? so let's get our last 300 and something.
Hull integrity compromised.
I hate the way this ship sits on landing. Alright, what was it? 396.
Touchdown confirmed. Commence system shutdown.
Exit. Well, there is a community goal going on. Delivering rewards by delivering semiconductors. One each of a 6A, 4A, 3A, 4D, 3D pre-engineered power distributor. Power sensor. Yeah, that's the exact kind of community goal that I hate. That can just go on in the background and I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over there without the carrier. Oh, no I'm not. 6 jumps, F that. I'm gonna go ahead and get back to the carrier and park and take a break while we make that jump. Yeah, I will not be participating in that community goal. That's
Detach confirmed. Watch for oncoming traffic when passing through the airlock.
not my type of jam right there. Can we have a bounty hunting community goal, please? Like, I haven't gotten paid for murdering in far too long.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Commander, docking permission requests are mandatory prior to landing. Attention, a hyperspace jump has been scheduled. Please finish any remaining tasks in this system prior to the carrier's departure. Permission granted. Please approach your designated landing pad in good time.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright, let's get her filled up.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
No gravity. Magnetic contact active.
Really wish we'd gotten some info on that clipper today. Oh well. I know, right, Enders. Alright, well, I'm going to take a quick break, guys, because I got nothing to do while I wait on this jump. So, then we'll be finally finishing up our asteroid base, which will make me very happy. Way happier than I was when I found out we weren't going to learn more about the Panther Clipper 2 today. Damn you, FDev. Anyways, I'll be back. I will leave the jump screen up for you guys instead of the normal away message. Chester, come on. Good boy. Come on.
Attention, carrier jump sequence is underway. Lockdown begins in 5 minutes. who wish to remain in this star system must depart soon. Hangar Bay lockdown is scheduled. Services are offline. Network suspended. Attention. Carrier is now under pre-flight lockdown. All services have been suspended. Landing pads retracted. Hangar bay secure. Cargo bays are secure. All scheduled work has been postponed until jump is complete. Attention all personnel. Frameshift drive has been engaged. Attention. Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carrier jump complete. Please stand by while final checks are processed. Attention, lockdown has been lifted. All services have resumed. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right. Well, now that's an interesting message to come back to from Half a Heart. Not sure how I feel about that. All right, let's get this ship unloaded. Why is that not working? Excuse you. That's better, Twitch. All right. So, this will complete this orbital station. Unfortunately, it won't be a fully armed and operational battle station. That would be too much fun. Now, we're 0.67 light seconds away from it. However, this approach has notoriously been fairly shitty.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing plan disengaged. Please watch for traffic during departure.
And this isn't a whole lot better.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
It's better than it has been, but it's not fantastic. Oh, that's right. I'm on anonymous access here. Oh, that's annoying.
Flight assist off. Landing gear deployed. Flight assist on. Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Doesn't matter. I don't need full access to sell everything. $2,748 left.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
This will be nice and quick, though. I mean,
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
it's only 3,000 tons of stuff. And then we need to see about putting in some more facilities. Looking at taking advantage of the market links.
Communications established. Welcome to a carrier, Commander. Permission granted. Please approach your designated landing pad in good time.
Right.
Landing gear deployed. Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage.
Almost safe landing. Hangar crew is ready. Welcome, Commander.
2,748 left. Perfect. I really wish this menu would move faster. Like a lot faster.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
All right. Yeah, it's entirely too slow. Now, once we get this base built and start looking at where else to build some stuff in the system, I think you guys will see why I was so so determined, as it were, to avoid using multiple four-letter words, to actually colonize this system despite the utterly horrendous place that the colony ship jumped in, because there's a lot of opportunity in this system. We just need to take advantage of it. I'm going to go ahead and loop this one. This ship will not pull down sharp enough for us to hit that window without also slamming into the asteroid belt and getting dropped against our will. I also will be swapping out of this ship as soon as we are done with this. It's fantastic for cargo running, but I really don't enjoy flying it. That's why I was really hoping for some Panther Clipper news, maybe a release date, but seems we have to wait another month for that.
Docking request granted.
There's our pad.
Scan detected.
As y'all can see, though, this asteroid base, because that's what we're constructing, should have one
Deployed.
hell of a view once it's in.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged. Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
All right, off we go. The other advantage of this ship, at least the way I have it engineered, is it is fast.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Just enough to kick us around that gravity well. Those squadron carriers look cool, though. That always looked like it was approximately, what, twice the size of an FC? I'm curious as to what its storage capacities are going to be. Because for a squadron, simply doubling up a fleet carrier not going to cut it.
This area respects considerate pilots. Fly safely, Commander. Access granted. Please follow standard docking procedure, Commander.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
Yeah, there's a lot that they didn't go into on the tech side of it, but the perks seem very interesting.
Hull integrity
And just the idea of sharing ships. I like that they are not allowing engineered modules.
Commence shutdown. Welcome.
I'm sure there are some people that are all upset about that, but no, you don't. That is sensible. The one thing they could do to fix this entire menu is if they would make transfer all to ship, just shove the maximum amount of cargo your ship could hold over, instead of it having to exactly match the amount of cargo you have on the carrier with what's in your cargo hold free. Simple change, and this whole menu would be fixed. Oops. I have lost my cursor. What? That's annoying. Yes. The idea of the shared bank, too, is interesting. Now, there's a lot that they outline there that's things that I think we all really wanted in the original iteration of Squadrons.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And you have, the Squadron board here. But really nobody ever uses it. So hopefully if it's more visible in its new incarnation, that would also be nice.
Confirmed.
Landing gear
Departure
retracted.
authorized.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Okay. So we've got, what, 2 trips left? Not sure I'm a big fan of this approach. We'll just lay off the throttle for a second, see what happens. No, this is going to be hairy as fuck. Actually, no, it slowed down more than I thought it would. Good.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Under attack. Taking damage.
Seriously?
Warning. Impulse attack. Trajectory disruption. Scanner detected. Landing gear deployed.
What is the security status in this system?
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Low sec. All right. That would explain it.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Silent running. Thermal signature restored.
Damn near clipped that pad there.
Frame shift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
See, we've only got 1,100 left. Why? Why can't I have a ship that just holds, like... I mean, the Panther Clipper better hold more than 1,000, but why can't I have a ship that holds, like, 1,500, 2,000 cargo? Like, why, FDev? Why? I still think that the colony update is the reason we are getting the Clipper, because they realized, holy shit, we made the hauling requirements stupid. We better give them a ship where they can actually do this stuff. But I would rather have that ship right now.
We welcome your business as a carrier, Commander. Please enjoy your stay with us. Access granted. Please follow standard docking procedure, Commander.
Also, I'm wondering, I just now thought about this. I'm wondering if they're going to censor Squadron decals. Because that interface they showed looked fairly simple, but it also kind of reminded me of the old school Call of Duty emblem makers, and I've seen some really horrible shit made in those. So...
Contact confirmed. Cleared to disembark. Our services are available for use, Commander.
This will leave us with like 300 left. 396.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
One more round trip. After this one.
Ship has released. Restrict speed until clear of our carrier.
Landing gear retracted.
Why are we getting crouch cam now? Because this stream is brought to you by Thrustmaster and the brand new Sol R2 Hosa Space Sim Duo sticks, which you can conveniently see me using as I am contractually obligated to
Frame shift
in that
right.
camera shot.
All clear.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Can't take my eyes off your stick. I mean, which one? The left stick or the right stick? Half?
Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
I cut that turn around the planet too close.
Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
That's going to necessitate a loop. Alright, let me get dropped out here. And if you guys are interested in those sticks, which if you play any kind of space flight sim, you should be. There's your direct link to it. Again, thank you to Thrustmaster for sponsoring.
Docking request granted.
Alright, so we gotta go back for one more little tiny bit of cargo. Once we get the unload here.
Flight assist off. Warning. Landing gear not deployed. Flight assist on. Warning. Landing gear not deployed. Landing gear deployed.
This will finally give large ships somewhere to dock in this system too.
Docking successful.
Oh, I can't wait till this is done. 99%. Gonna go game for a tiny bit before work? Sounds like fun. Enjoy, sir.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Taking damage. Scan detected. Scan detected. Frameshift drive charging.
Last trip, guys.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Welcome, Commander. Please request docking permission before approaching a landing pad. Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated pad.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
And now we'll get the one instance of loading the ship being super easy.
Landing gear deployed. Hull integrity compromised.
One more safe landing. Hangar crew is ready. Greetings, Commander. We are glad to have you.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing clamps disengaged. Please watch for traffic during departure.
Frameshift drive charging.
All right. It's finally happening. We're finally going to be done.
2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
No, I can't believe that we are finally getting done with this. Been slacking off on it for so long.
Docking request granted. Scan detected. Landing gear deployed. Hull integrity compromised.
Come on, bot.
Taking damage. Docking successful.
Here we go.
Engines disengaged.
Ah.
Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
There we go. All right, so Seti's hold is finally finished. Let's see what this asteroid base looks like while it's under construction. Like, it should be finished tomorrow, but the bare bones of it are there now.
Delta India Golf. This station is under Imperial sovereignty. Kindly observe traffic regulations when approaching this facility.
Okay, so it's an Imperial station. Not surprising.
Current approach vector is good, Commander.
Silent running. Thermal signature restored.
So first off, let's get a good look at where this base sits. Like, there's the asteroid belt and the planet. Like, this is a very cool spot for a station.
Docking request approved. Please make your way to landing pad 17.
Let's go ahead and dock. Oh man, that is very cool. See where they're still working on it.
From touchdown.
Landing gear deployed.
There we go. And we are down.
Landing complete. Alight when ready. Your comfort is our top priority.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm glad this is finally done. Ooh, facility customization, you don't say. Sure, why not? Sick. All right. Administrative, I can clear my... Nope, okay. Oh, we've got an interstellar factory here. Nice. Merc facilities. All right. Very nice. Let me get some uploading real quick. Create. Upload. Are you not outputting where I told you to? Ah. Duh. That was stupid. All right, well, that video is uploaded. All right, well, we're going to set course back for the carrier.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship released. You may proceed when ready.
Oh, yeah, that's cool as all hell.
You are clear to resume predetermined flight path. Imperial Flight Operations Bureau now signing off.
Awesome. So, hold on just a second, guys. I need to share, copy, paste. Let me into Super Cruise. Come on. There she is.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Warning. Frame shift drive operating beyond safety limits.
All right. Let's go visit the copper spot and get something that's not quite such a pig to fly.
Communications established. Welcome to a carrier, Commander. Clearance granted. Move directly to your allocated path.
Landing gear deployed. Hull integrity compromised.
And you can just go below, repair. There we go.
Landing complete. Hangar crew is ready. Our services are available for use, Commander.
All right, manage my ships. Dauntless, you are coming with me. All right, now, need to have a quick look at the system view. Okay, so this is not going to start showing its links until tomorrow. Let's see. We can do some new construction. We have several points. That could really use another high-tech facility. So I think that's what we're going to look at.
Landing gear retracted.
Landing trap disengaged.
Oh, God, that feels so much better.
You have less than no fire zone. Until next time, Commander.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Yikes. I haven't been in a ship that does proper Super Cruise overdrive in a while. All right. So First things first. We need to... All right. So we got the genetics lab down there. Wherever it is. Ah, there it is. All right, so how about the edge of this crater? That sounds cool as hell.
Orbital flight engaged.
Oh yeah, this looks like it'll be a fucking epic spot. Like just right here. This facility will not receive any economy links. Know how to fix that. It's just going to be a little bit of a pain. All right. All right. Wow, we need 3 of those. Okay. Nope, we need a starport here. And we need 2 more construction points. What I need to look at is what the installations in this system already are. So we have so many available sites here. Can we please go back into architects view? Or not? Okay, you just don't want to let me back into architecture view at all, huh? Oh, it's because that's still on. I always do that. My brain just does not compute. Alright. Current construction's available 4. There we go. We're going to rename that. And what should we name this? There we go. All right. Looks like we are good. Let's go see if there's any interesting missions available. I think I'm also going to send the carrier to Orgrim. But not before I get a good look at anything that we might have happening here. Kind of want to push... I'm going to push for our faction to have good control of this system.
Upgrade request granted.
So I need to take a look at the actual spread here real quick.
Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
All right. Interesting. I mean, these don't pay all that great. This stuff will be a little better once the other, whatchamacallit, station is up and running. Yeah, that's loud. No, that's a fail. All right, let me have a look at something then. Looks like I'm gonna need a NAR for this. There's Marcus Vision. View market. I can get a lot of what I need from Indonis, but not all of it. I really need to find a slot into a system with a with the fleet carrier. There we go. So one other thing I wanted to look at. Do I actually have to be docked here to do this? Yes, I do. I like that. Let's see what this place looks like.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
Oh, hell yeah, that's slick as all hell. Very nice.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
All right, we're going to land at the carrier and go ahead and wrap up for the day, guys. Really kind of stymied on anything else that I can do right now. Plus, I want to get a video put together about what they did tell us today on their live stream, which was granted a good chunk of information. Just not the information some of us wanted, because some of us were really, really hoping for Panther Clipper news, but oh well. There's the cover spot. It'll be interesting to see how much my payout changes tomorrow. Like actually having a full-on station up and running. know I got too impatient there. Let's land this puppy.
Greetings, Commander. Please be mindful of other ships around this carrier. Attention, a hyperspace jump has been scheduled. Please finish any remaining tasks in this system prior to the carrier's departure. Access granted. Please proceed to your landing pad, Commander.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Landing gear deployed.
One more safe landing. Hangar crew is ready. Our services are available for use, Commander.
All right, folks, that'll do it for me for today. Thank you for hanging out with me while we finish off that silly got my brain station, and listen to FDev not tell us about the Clipper. But hey, we got some good news about Squadrons instead. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow looking at finishing up Clear Obscure Expedition 33 in the next couple days, and then we'll see what we jump into. But yeah, thank you for hanging out, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.